Here.
Hensley.
Here.
Howdeshell.
Here.
Oliver.
Here.
Rogers.
Here.
Schmidt. Tryon.
Here.
I tried to be gentle on the gavel. I didn't want to scare our new young people here tonight. We're happy you're here. Approval of the
Move to accept them.
motion by Mr. Rogers to accept the current financial report. Approval of the agenda. The only thing I have to add is the need for an executive session regarding 121.22G1, which is personnel matters, and which is item 1, and under executive sessions in Ohio Revised Code, and also item 3, which will be conference with an attorney regarding threatening or pending litigation. And that's all I have.
Mr. President, I move to approve the agenda as amended,
Okay.
unless you have something else to add.
Yes, back up. I will
Okay.
not recognize that motion. I got ahead of myself. I'm sorry. We didn't call the roll on Mr. Rogers' motion to approve the financial report. Sorry about that. Call the roll, please.
Godwin.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Howdeshell.
Yes.
Oliver.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Tryon.
Yes.
Next time, just grab the gavel and hit me. Just say, hey, no.
Can I move there?
No. Now, now we go with our agenda as amended. So, Mr. Schmidt, move to approve the agenda as amended. Discussion. Call the roll.
Godwin.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Howdeshell.
Yes.
Oliver.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Tryon.
Yes.
Public hearing. We have a couple things scheduled for this evening. First, we will take retirement resignation for Mr. Scott. Phew.
He's already resigned.
Twice.
Thank goodness.
My bad. Retirement resignation for,
Recognition.
Recognition.
whatever. Thank you very much. Mr. Drew, I really.
Just trying to make it memorable, right?
I really do appreciate your service. So with that, Chief?
Is this for the police or is this for the custodian?
I'm going to be reading this without my glasses, and I want to really thank you for taking the pressure off me.
Come on up, all of you guys, come on up.
Everybody.
Bring the family.
Bring the family, yep, come on.
I'm supposed to take a video, so
Hand it to Russ.
Give it to the kid.
Hand it to Russ.
Russ will do it.
Chief Thompson will do it. The video?
Scott?
Yes, she does. Give that to him.
You got a video of this, it'll be on the city website.
Have mine on.
YouTube. It's on the city website.
If it's on.
I'd like to present this certificate of appreciation to Sergeant Scott Drew. Special thanks and appreciation are extended to Scott Drew for his dedication to Greenville City Police Department for the past 33 years. Scott was very responsible and conscientious in performing the tasks and duties, being a detective, sergeant, and instructor with the police department. It is with great pleasure to commend Scott for his years of service and dedication, and to extend our very best wishes for continued success in life. This will be signed by council, and at this point in time, I'd like to present you your retired badge. You wore that badge with great honor, duty, integrity, and morals for 33 years, and I know you'll continue to carry it that way in your private life. Thank you very much.
Let's do a little procession. We'll start around here. You would just, that way he doesn't have to walk. And come around and shake his hand and give your appreciation to Scott. I can't walk.
Or I'll just be right here.
I stand ready. I stand ready.
Let your son
Pass
pass
it
it
down.
I tried to get a story. You want to say anything?
No, I think I'm good.
Well, hold on, let everybody get through.
Why don't you just crack off from around?
Wow.
When this means a lot to me. I mean, probably more than I can probably express to you, but I'm gonna try.
Try not to cry.
When I retired, I still love my job. And police years in law enforcement is a lot like dog years, where you become old very quickly, and you realize that you don't maybe run as fast as what you used to, you're not as strong as what you used to. It's harder to read things, small print, and you realize that maybe it's time that a younger officer takes your position, and that's where I was at. You know, one that is maybe a little bit stronger and a little bit quicker and can actually read the words on the BMV form 2255. So getting this, it's a piece of my career that I can always look at and remember, and that means a lot to me. I want to thank the city and her citizens for allowing me to serve. It's my pleasure.
He's gonna cry.
My family.
They put up with a lot.
Yes, they have. Thanks for sharing him.
And then the Lord watched over me during that 32 years. And I give it all to him.
Amen. Thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
I was tougher than I thought.
I must say, sir, you look a lot thinner without your flak tack.
Yeah, Keith.
Thank you.
Thank you again. We'll get this, I gotta get, Roxanne's not here this evening, I'll get her signature and then I'll get it to you. All right, thanks, Scott. Thank you.
Before we proceed with the next part of the public hearing, I have an issue regarding public hearing. If you all recall, last council meeting, we were forwarded a notice from the Zoning and Planning Commission regarding 3 different items. And I apologize for not doing due diligence on part of the chair of council. Normally, when we're rezoning or doing something of this nature for 1 or 2 or 3 parcels of land or commercial, we simply have a public hearing. After the public hearing is concluded, the legislation is prepared, and the council then acts upon that piece of legislation. However, with the magnitude of the changes that are proposed to our zoning and planning regulations, reading on further, when something of this significance is considered, actually the legislation must be prepared ahead of time, and then it lays for 30 days, or is advertised and lays for 30 days, so that anyone wishing to see the legislation come up must or may review it. And then after that 30 days, there is a public hearing, and then after the public hearing, then council proceeds to vote on that legislation. Well, obviously, no legislation has been prepared on this issue. And one of the major issues is the expansion of the architectural review area to coincide with the DE area, which is
Downtown Enterprise.
Downtown Enterprise Zone, or to expand it actually. And that incorporates or includes an additional at least nearly 150 properties. And a lot of them are residential areas as well as commercial. So it is the chair's choice to actually cancel that public hearing on June the 6th because we do not have legislation prepared. I addressed members of the zoning and planning this evening, and members of council, I don't know if you had the opportunity to look at any of this stuff, but I would encourage you to do so because there's a lot of changes that are pending with our zoning and planning ordinance. And conferring with the law director, he suggested that we have a little more definition on some of these issues. So that's what I propose to do regarding that zoning issue, or excuse me, that public hearing issue. So I'm directing the clerk of council to send out notices that that public hearing has been canceled until such legislation has been duly prepared. Anyone have an objection to that? Because, I am subject to council's wishes, so if you choose to override me, that's fine, that's your choice.
Mr. Burkett, just
Yeah.
to further expand that, with the vast number of properties that are being considered for the change, I talked with the safety service director and the mayor earlier, and they had got it confirmed through the planning and zoning secretary that the only notice going out to the property owners for the public hearing would be a notice in the newspaper, not individual. And I'm not sure with today's society how many people read the papers. Would it warrant that when the time comes that the legislation is prepared and it's going to be made public and the consideration go, that I know it's costly, but because of the vast number, is it possible to have individuals, property owners notified?
Be council's wishes.
I believe it's an obligation
Sure.
to the public.
Because so many people don't get the newspaper.
So it's something that, yes, it could be done.
I don't know if that would come from our clerk or from the zoning and planning.
Comes from the clerk of council, because it's a council thing. I'm going to defer to the assistant, the assistant auditor, or deputy auditor, excuse me, and the law director. That is reasonable. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Ms. Davis assures me that it's been done before.
Oh, yes, it is.
Not for that fast of it.
Because actually, the Architectural Review Board then would be governing all of the things that are occurring to those private residences. And if you wanted to put new windows in your house or change the color of your front porch or put new pillars in or something like that, would have to go before the Architectural Review Board.
Plant
before
certain bushes.
before anything, yeah, and it even deals with landscaping as well. That is the Architectural Review guidelines. The design guidelines for historic downtown Greenville, and that's quite a few pages of a small pamphlet. So just for people's edification and for members of council, that I think would be the prudent thing to do. With that, thank you very much. With that, we will proceed on. We have a second scheduled public hearing, Mr. Dale Musser, Parks Board President, regarding the band shell project. So, Mr. Musser.
Well, good evening. Dale Musser, 213 Hickory Drive, and I am on the board of the Greenville City Park. To date, the community of Greenville graciously has donated $163,598 to the band shell. As you know, City Council gave us $150,000, of which we committed to raise back. So far, we've raised $163,598 plus another $19,000 from the Lucille Clark estate. The final bids are in for the band shell, and they're just a little bit more than we've raised, and through the ODNR grant. I'm here this evening to ask and request from City Council $72,891.84 to complete the band shell as per the base bid, which includes the restrooms. Kurt's probably got a little bit more better numbers than I do. I think you might have gotten an email today or a letter today that showed we had $171,598. That included $7,500 that we just received on Monday that has not been received into the city. So that's why we're back to the saying that it is $163,598. So I just wanted to make that clear. And I said, John, you're going like that, so it's not clear, is it?
Well, I'm looking at far different figures on the
Okay.
papers that I've been given, and it's like, they don't jive.
Okay. Kurt, can you help us out? What they're seeing versus what I see?
And your original request was a balance of $65,392 to complete the board band shell project.
Yes, that does
Wait,
not
letter.
include the $7,500 that we received, that we will receive over the next 3 years.
Right.
So if you add the $7,500, then that's where we're at in there. We have a pledge of $7,500 more dollars. That is not in the numbers that you see. Kurt's got some better numbers than I've got. Okay.
Do you want me to handle the band? I do have more information or seeking more direction on the band shell. Do you wish for me to do that now, or
Well-
do you want me to wait until my report?
Why don't we let Mr. Muster go ahead, and, because you have some more to present with us.
No, that's it. I just wanted to thank you, and I wanted to thank our community for stepping up to the plate and finishing this project out this year. That really is it. So I know Kurt has better numbers than I think I have. So.
Okay.
I will also tell you there are 2 more people have come forward but have not given us any dollars at this point. So I don't know what that will attribute to. So I don't want to say that, what it could be. So,
Dale, but, and I realize that you will probably get some more funds throughout the summer and things like that, but this project isn't the complete project that we're looking at. I mean, it's the base, it doesn't have the sidewalks and some landscaping, things like that, that additional monies that you would receive would be added to complete those items?
that would be something, no. That
No?
would be something we'd have to talk about.
Okay.
So, and I know you're not going to do anything this evening, that's fine, but Kurt can give you better numbers than I actually can, because I don't have the corrected numbers at this point. So I am just seeking funds from city council for whatever it takes, and we know we're around $75,000 and a little bit.
It is the park board's decision to, if they have their choice, to move forward with the project with the restroom addition.
With the restroom additions, yes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm sorry I got to
Appreciate all
move
your
on
hard
to
work.
another commitment.
Appreciate all your hard work.
Thank you, Steve.
Now, the microphone is open for anyone else wishing to address city council at this time. Please come forward and state your name and address and state your case.
Mark Middlecoff, 725 Wayne Street, representing PCS, Person-Centered Services. We are anticipating on opening the Roundhouse this month down in the park, and I wanted to thank the city for their support, Dale and the park board, Deb Fall, and the community. We've got an overwhelming amount of support for this little project. I just brought information about our organization for the city, if they would have any questions. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Mr. Burkett?
Yes.
If I may, just to address for Person-Centered Services, I'd like to thank their organization. They helped to beautify our city by pulling weeds and placing mulch around the city park signs, and then also around the 2 entry signs into the city of Greenville. And unfortunately, during my tenure, it seems in the spring that our street department always gets busy, and sometimes those signs get left to a lesser priority. And in contacting Mark, his group was able to help participate and beautify those signs, or that area, if you will. And they went down and laid the mulch, pulled the weeds, and many thanks to them for that service to the city.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Anyone else wishing to address council may do so. Seeing no one coming forward, we will move on to our administrative reports. Mr. Mayor.
I'm going to keep it short. Thanks, Mark, for coming. Appreciate your presentation there. I wanted to make sure everybody knew Dale Musser is left, and I said something to him before he left. He is stuck with this project of the band cell for a long time. It's a longer project than expected, and they've raised quite a bit of money. And I just wanted to make sure we recognize the work that the park board's done, and Dale particularly in heading up some of that fundraising. So just want to make sure everybody knows it's longer than they thought. It's been a little more complicated, but we're getting close to seeing something happen here. So I want to make sure you appreciate it. So, and that's all I got, Pat.
Do you have anything, let's see, I think before Memorial Day, or we won't meet till after Memorial Day. Do you have anything to report on the Memorial Day parade on the 29th?
I've reached out and tried to call people with no answer and no return call, and I don't have too much to say except they're planning on having a parade, Memorial Day parade, and I don't have much information on it at all.
Okay, but as soon as
I'm
we get
hoping
something,
it goes smoothly.
try to get it out, huh?
It's been tough trying to figure out what's been happening, what's going on, but I'm sure there'll be a parade. Memorial Day be on the 29th, so we'll keep trying to find out how it's going to work. And supposedly I got an agenda of the itinerary of what the parade's going to be, same as it always has. But as far as anybody that's going to speak, the ceremony at the cemetery, I haven't heard back yet.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So I wish I could tell you more, but I don't have any.
Safety Service Director, Mr. Garrison.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. At our last meeting, a major topic of discussion for nearly 45 minutes, if you didn't remember, had to deal with dispatch and the 911 system in the county. And I was asked during that meeting to provide some information back to this council. First and foremost, to let you know that there has been no follow-up conversation between any but one within the city administration and the county commissioners concerning any of the questions that were posed to the commissioners, and they were asked to follow up. So I do not have any more information to present to you at this time. However, I was asked by a council member to try to apply some numbers that would reflect the cost savings to the city if the city were to choose to use the county for dispatch services. And what I was able to come up with was the overall, and these are approximate numbers, but the savings to the city would be approximately $300,000. I know that during a 911 committee meeting, the commissioner threw out $500,000. However, that number did not reflect services that would still need to be provided within our police department. And what I have planned would be 3 clerical positions. And when I applied a wage to those positions, I used the City of Greenville's established wage for an administrative secretary at Step E, making an assumption that those 3 positions would be filled by our senior dispatchers, and this would be a wage cut to them. The amount of the wages totaled $251,732, and then I'm estimating approximately $50,000 in savings due to those who would no longer require city health insurance, other benefits that go along with employees, and the burden of PERS and workers' comp. So therefore, the savings would be approximately $300,000 if the city decided to use the county for dispatch. We'll still need computers, we'll still need office equipment, the lights will still be on. Therefore, some of those other miscellaneous items, I did not think would reflect any savings. So that is my follow-up to that matter. Another issue that was discussed at the last council meeting had to do with Matt Stogler from the Darke County's Visitors Bureau presenting a proposal to this council concerning a kiosk which would be placed on Broadway. And Matt was able to give some details as to the size and location of the sign. It was asked of the law director to sit down with the Visitors Bureau and draft an agreement that the city council would agree to, the Darke County Visitors Bureau would agree to it. But through the course of that conversation, I guess I should say that the law director, assistant law director, and myself, we were in a meeting with Matt Stogler from the Visitors Bureau and also the new director of Main Street Greenville, Krista Hutchison. And it was discovered two things that were not brought to light during that council meeting. And at least it was my understanding, and I believe the understanding of both of our law directors, that the Visitors Bureau had, and Mr. Neely was here along with Mr. Stogler. It was my understanding that the Visitors Bureau would install the kiosk. We discovered through that meeting that the Visitors Bureau now seeks the city of Greenville through its street department to install this sign in the city right-of-way. So that was something new. And then the second thing that was not disclosed during that meeting was that the Visitors Bureau wishes to sell advertising on one side of the sign. It is my understanding that the sign, the large portion of the sign which will house the maps, one side for Main Street Greenville, the other side for the County Visitors Bureau, will be at the top. And then underneath will be three smaller panels, 9 inches tall by 24 inches wide, which on the Main Street side of the kiosk would advertise events, might advertise, well, it would advertise anything other than a business. It would be more about providing information, not advertisement. The Main Street Greenville, or I'm sorry, the Visitors Bureau side, the three panels, it is the Visitors Bureau, it's their idea or concept to actually sell advertisement for those three panels. That may be a business within the city of Greenville, it could be a business within the county, but it is a source of revenue for the Visitors Bureau. That in and of itself, remote billboard locations is against our sign ordinance, and I wanted to make you aware of that. So currently, where we are at with this agreement, Mr. Brand and Mr. Cox has drafted the agreement, and the agreement has been sent on per Mr. Stogler's request to their attorney for review. We have not heard back at this time. However, I wanted to bring to light the two issues that were not maybe disclosed or talked about at the last council meeting. So I do not know if you have further questions or wish to discuss further this evening. We may wish to discuss this more when we receive comments back from the Visitors Bureau attorney.
Kurt,
Yes, sir.
they're wanting the street department to put everything in rather than Mr. Neely?
That is our understanding, yes.
Okay, so Mr. Neely was basically just the project.
He's the sign guy.
Design.
He's making a sign.
Okay, he's making the sign.
Right. They want us to install it for the city.
Kurt, used the expression three panels. I was under the impression that there was going to be a top panel and a bottom panel on one of two sides. Is that still?
The way it was described to us, and I believe even the picture that Mr. Burkett has does not represent what I just said.
Right.
The representation that we were told at the meeting is that you would have the large panel at top and the three 9x24 panels underneath that.
But it would still be a two-sided.
And it's two-sided, that is correct. One side would represent events for Main Street Greenville. The other side would represent events for the Visitors Bureau.
But-
Any discussion on that?
Well, just keep in mind that their intention is, that they presented to council the other night is far different than what was presented to everyone else, and that now becomes a billboard, basically, is what they want.
Portion of it does,
A
yes.
portion of it, yeah. So, please keep that in mind.
And the other concern that I want to bring to light is that if the city, if it is your request to have Ryan install this sign, where does that money come from? So,
When they came up here originally, I was under the impression that they had planned on installing it. Was I?
that was our impression as well, or interpretation.
And on their initial drawing, there's nothing on there about advertising on the bottom of that at all.
That is correct.
The ordinance about this advertising signage, would we have to waive this, or?
I believe because this sign really, the kiosk does not fit within our sign ordinance, because we do not permit signs in the right-of-way. Therefore, the ordinance or the agreement that will be drafted between this council and Main Street Greenville is specific to that purpose, to exempt them from our sign ordinances or existing ordinances. So, that's the reason for the agreement.
This advertising that's going to be going on there, is that going to be painted on, a decal, or how's that?
Well, it'll be a plexiglass that's colored or somehow
That can
an
be
image is
changed.
printed onto, and if Mr. Stogler stated that the advertisements would be most likely rotated every year. So,
But again, the advertisements would be for events, not a commercial business.
No.
in here?
Only one side.
on one side, Main Street Greenville side was to distribute information, okay? Make the sign or the kiosk informational. The Visitors Bureau side, they are choosing to turn this into advertisement and not so much about information.
And a source of revenue for them.
Now, I will tell you that I spoke with, through the course of our conversation with Mr. Stogler, he reached out to the director at the state level of Heritage Ohio. And Heritage Ohio is an organization that oversees the Main Street programs all over the state. And I spoke with their director, and she had done some research for me concerning these types of signs in other communities. And what she found out was, one, that she could not find anywhere where these signs were used in an advertisement purpose. They were always for the purpose of conveying information. And then the second thing that she found out was that a majority of these signs over the state of Ohio, the sign or the kiosk is owned by the city and not a private organization. So it's a city kiosk in a city right-of-way. Just for information purposes.
It would be my feeling that it should be just an informational sign only if we would allow it, rather than selling advertising.
And I guess that was a concern, I don't want to speak for Mr. Brand, but it was definitely, it was a question that he brought up to Mr. Stogler, asking, is this a deal breaker? And however, he did not like the fact that he could not do advertisement, and he did state that it wouldn't be a deal breaker. But we felt that it was something that should be brought to this council and decided before the agreement ever comes back to you for approval.
I'm gonna kind of go back to the previous meeting, because one of my questions was, who takes care of the sign if damage, vandalism, et cetera? I don't want the city owning this thing in any way, shape, or form. Bad enough we got light poles to maintain and other things, but
I understand your concern. However, the premise behind this is to promote economic development in your downtown area. Now, we're going a little bit further with that and promoting the rest of the county. But it is a good economic development tool used to promote businesses, all businesses, within your downtown district. The location, size, all of that can be decided. Not sure that the right-of-way is the best location for that.
So, just for example, who owns the bike racks?
Just magically appeared.
Next question?
Yeah. No, seriously, I mean, down
The
there.
bike racks. What I'll tell you about the bike racks is that the bike racks were purchased by Main Street Greenville. Main Street Greenville contacted the city street department, and the city street department, like the park, handles a lot of maintenance items, and therefore, the street department installed the bike racks at the request of Main Street Greenville.
Okay, so who covers the liability?
The city of Greenville.
The city.
It's in the right of way.
Yeah.
Next.
Okay, any other questions on the kiosk?
Want one?
All right, we'll move on. Thank you. Want to let you know a little bit about our big project that is happening right now with 4 Schweitzer Street. We have started the project. We've started the sewer lining. Hopefully, the main line will be completed by the end of this week, and that company will be moving out, and Broomball Construction will be moving in on Monday. So folks that live in that area, folks that travel the 4 Schweitzer Street, please beware that sections of that road will be closed down. It is our intent to start the project all the way at the end, down at Pine Street, and work our way towards the railroad. One of the main things going on, obviously, is graduation here within the next 2 weeks, so we do not want to be anywhere near Memorial Hall, and we will not. We have that much work to happen, so that will not be an issue. But that work will start on Monday, and pleased to say that we had a public meeting, and I have to say that this council and their urging of the administration to hold public meetings and get the information out to the people was one of the best pieces of wisdom that they could have conveyed upon my position. We had a public meeting. I don't think any of us thought that we would have but a handful of people show up. We actually had, I believe, 30-plus people that showed up at Memorial Hall related to this project, and we were able to go through the parameters. They had a lot of good questions concerning the replacement of water lines and lead lines and how that affects their properties. So overall, it was a success, and glad that we did that. And I believe we held that meeting last Monday or Tuesday. Anyway, it doesn't matter, but it was a good event. So thank you to all those that came out. And then finally, I'll conclude my report with the band shell. All of you have a spreadsheet in front of you. We received the bids last week, I believe on Tuesday. At that point, I had completed this spreadsheet, and I believe I emailed that to all of you. So hopefully you've had a chance to look over this. You will see that the base bid, and I am in the top portion of what I have given you right in the middle under costs and the base bid, and you'll see that the base bid is $349,000 and no cents. This included the restroom as it was designed. The restrooms are for a men's, a women's, and a family restroom. And this would be an addition, a framed addition that would come off of the east side of the band shell. So, let me start at the top. As Mr. Musser stated, the park board, through its donations and through the use of the Lucille Clark funds, which was a gift that was given to the city to be used for capital projects, the total available funds is $164,098.16. We have another $19,000 from the second capital account of the Lucille Clark estate, and then the ODNR grant at $150,000. So that means that our total available cash on hand to begin this project is $333,098.16. We have spent $41,000 in engineering. The base bid, as I said, for the project was $349,000. That left a deficit of $56,901.84. When we bid the project the first time, we realized that with the one bid that we received, demolition was exuberant. And we felt that the city could either subcontract or complete the demolition of the band shell at a much less cost. And you can see, and I've received a bid on demolition of $7,990. And then, as Mr. Tryon stated, there were some other items that were not included. However, sidewalks we did have included with the band shell. We just felt that based upon the price of concrete and labor, it was best to just have that all in the base bid. So sidewalks are included. What is not included would be painting, and then there were some miscellaneous fixtures in the bathrooms that the city could purchase and install. Put a price tag on that of $8,000. So with the deficit of $56,901 and the other items that the city would need to contribute, the amount of funds needed to complete the base bid, which includes the restrooms, is $72,891.84. Now, Mr. Musser has stated that he has a commitment of $7,500. That is not included in this. And then any other additional funds that would be received over the summer, as Mr. Tryon stated, would come off of this balance. If the city council chooses not to fund the restrooms, as a part of our bid, we requested that the contractor give us a price that would eliminate the restroom. So we call that a deduct. Thanks, Mr. Godwin. The deduct on the restrooms is $75,000. So with that deduct, that means we are $2,108.16 to the good. And I'm not really crying over that, I promise. So the question is, how do you wish to proceed? We have not prepared legislation, and we will not until we have direction from this council, and we'll have it prepared as such for the next meeting.
At a previous discussion of this, mobile trailer with restroom facilities was brought up, being able to be used at multiple points for multiple reasons.
Right.
Was that ever priced into this?
Well, it was looked into. Actually just talked to a salesman today about the cost of that trailer. And his trailer was very similar to what I explained, where it had the ADA capable restroom in the back, and then to the front of the trailer, it had 4 stalls, 2 on each side. That you could designate one side men's and the other side women's. It basically just had a commode and a sink. And now really what I'll equate it to is a restroom that you would find inside of an airplane. It was about that size. And so for a total of 5 restrooms, one of them being ADA compliant, this gentleman's price tag was $75,000. So that involved, the trailer would have to have pumps, tanks, water storage, what they call gray water storage. And then you obviously have to take it to and from Blackwater, take it to and from and dump it.
Or build a dump into there instead of a sewer,
You could, it has that capability. So that is definitely a possibility. It's not off the table. I was hoping, or the reason that I looked at that was to, yes, it was portable and we could move it to event after event. That was kind of a secondary benefit. The primary benefit was all about cost. With the $75,000 to build a permanent restroom facility, the cost difference really isn't that much. So
What other events would it may be used at, or is it gonna sit most of the time?
It definitely would sit more than it would be used, but, First Friday events, car show, any big event that you would have downtown. Even, if you had something in the park, the horseshoe pitchers. Any large event, the trailer could be requested to be used.
You're still gonna have to have maintenance. Ryan's gonna have to take care of it every Monday and go empty it, clean it.
Yeah, your operational costs are not, you're not decreasing any operational cost. If anything, you're
No.
probably increasing your operational cost just because you have to move it from place to place.
Anything on wheels seems to depreciate pretty quick.
It may. Don't get me wrong, that type of a unit has its use, and I don't want to discount the advantages of having something like that. However, I believe that there are advantages to having a permanent restroom in the park that's attached to the band shell when we have shows on a Sunday evening. It is a matter of convenience. I would tell you that the park board, Dale Musser, was approached by those at the shuffleboard court, and the folks that are a part of the shuffleboard group, they pooled their money and they made a donation to the band shell because of how the band shell was originally advertised with the restroom edition, and they felt that, well, we want to give money to that because that will benefit our group when we have events in the park.
Another thing that, just to remind council, that the school is now the owner of the football stadium and that area. There's restrooms under both sides that have been opened up in the past, but we know that there are plans to, renovate the field and the stadium, that could go away. And even though we have another site on the other side of the horseshoe courts, that site needs to be renovated in the worst way too. That we're going to have some sort of permanent structure somewhere. So my suggestion would be, Mr. President, is that this probably should go into the Finance Committee to see if there's any funds available and, look at it from that view.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
And the Finance Committee could probably incorporate that with their meeting to discuss the, looking at the budget that we were presented, that,
2018?
yeah,
Yeah,
which will be coming up shortly.
yes.
So, if I might add to all of that, and I do not have a committee assignment prepared for you this evening in that matter, but if I had to write it, I would request that the Finance Committee review the proposal, that they would make a recommendation in the form of legislation to approve the contract to move forward with the band shell, and I would ask that the completion date be whatever the date is, the first meeting in June, because that's our next council meeting.
What's the time schedule, for everything that they want to do?
Well, we want, it would be, they have to be finished with the project, I believe, by October 31st, okay? And it would be our goal to have a majority of the band shell constructed, that the Greenville Municipal Band would perform the Labor Day show in the new band shell.
Okay.
So we don't want to delay
Yeah,
very much. So,
yeah.
yeah. So if we could have a committee assignment, and then if that committee assignment was approved at the next council meeting, legislation could be added to the agenda after that's read, and that legislation would be for approval of whatever the Finance Committee decides.
Right. And Mr. Tryon says that, and of course, we do have
3 weeks.
5 Tuesdays here in the month of May. So that would give him in excess of 2 weeks to, almost 3 to get it accomplished, and he can do that.
Great.
So now I would simply ask you to do this. Would you get that request typed
Handwriting?
up?
Yep.
Get it to the clerk and get the copies to the members of the committee. I would permit that and ask that you do that.
With that, Mr. Council President, I will pass.
Okay, thank you. Law Director, Mr. Brand.
At the risk of beating a dead horse, or maybe not so dead, but if, I'll ask the council the same question I asked Mr. Stogler, if it's a deal breaker as far as council's concerned to sell advertising on that kiosk sign, I just as soon know council's feeling about that now, so I don't have to say we're going to add that to the contract, because it stands neutral on that point at the present, the drafted contract that we presented. We're trying to expedite this, not, stop it from happening, but rather expedite it. And if that is, as far as council's concerned, the language should include that advertising for commercial purposes cannot be on that kiosk. I just soon add that to the contract right now.
I would say do that, because, I don't know, it just seems inappropriate for a public information board, which is what this was presented to, at least that's my interpretation of. So,
Yeah, I think it was told to us that it was gonna be informational sign only.
Let's hold the chatter down, please. Go ahead.
I have a question. What if it gets in disrepair? Can the city remove it?
It's covered in the contract. They have to repair it, and we have, like time limits for it being done. So, yes, if it's in our right of way, we can remove it. If it's,
I just see it as a target for tagging.
oh yeah.
I think we discussed that in our meeting, as a matter of fact, because vandalism is probably a very real possibility.
Is there anyone that is not, how should I put this? Is there anyone who would prefer to have sold advertisement on this? Members of council? Seeing none, I would say that we would proceed in that direction, sir.
I'll let you worry about coming up with the money about its installation. I just wanted to clarify that point in the contract.
Okay.
With that, I'll pass.
Thank you. Deputy Auditor, Mrs. Davis.
I would pass, Mr. President.
Oh, come on, here's your opportunity.
I'm good.
Well, thank you for sitting in tonight anyway, appreciate that. We have no scheduled committee reports this evening. And
Mr. President,
yes.
I know I'm out of order, but I have something really important that I forgot, and I want this council's approval before I move forward. And it relates to the band shell.
You can have my time, Kurt.
Thanks. As on my spreadsheet, I have listed that demolition is $7,990.
Yes.
I have this, I have an estimate from JA Construction, which is Justin Hines. He's worked for the city in the past. He's demolished some houses. He's removed lime from our water treatment plants. We have an established relationship with Justin. His normal course of business, when the sun shines, he has to go places and work. Well, this Thursday and Friday, it's supposed to rain. And he would really like to, we need to get this thing tore down, and he'd really like to start this Thursday. But I do not want to tear this structure down without the approval of council. So does anyone on council oppose to moving forward with the demolition? It really has no effect on whether or not we're going to do the restrooms or we're going to just rebuild the band shell. I have to get the old structure down to do either.
Is the entire structure coming down?
The entire structure is coming down. The concrete elevated pad and base is staying. Everything behind that will be removed, including the foundation.
But the shell over that's staying, isn't it?
No, it's all going to be gone.
I was under the assumption that was even coming down or staying.
No, it's all coming down and getting rebuilt.
But that will be rebuilt as original.
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct. But I did not want to move forward with demolition until I have permission from this council.
I'm in favor of demolition.
With the demolition, this is gonna be,
Pardon?
As the park board, likewise approved, because technically it's their responsibility to approve that.
They have a park board meeting on Thursday.
Better be
We'll
early.
down by then.
can't say no after it started.
Well, you-
Is there anyone that adamantly opposed to that?
forgiveness.
I think it's, time-wise, I think we need to do it.
Okay,
Needs to be done.
All right, thank you.
continue on, sir. All right.
Sorry for being out of order.
That's okay. Anything else? Okay, moving on to ordinances resolution. Wow, we have 11 to consider tonight. We'll try to speed this along as quickly as possible, depending on how quickly clerk can read. Put it on fast forward. Okay, first we have an ordinance of to supplemental appropriations.
An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Greenville, state of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2017. This ordinance authorizes appropriations to the general fund for Community Funds Council in the amount of $6,700. These funds are needed to fully fund the 2017 community fund distributions.
Mr. Council President, I move to suspend this ordinance and read it by title only, second and third time.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules and read the ordinance by title second and third time. Discussion. Call the roll.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Pettijohn?
Yes.
Oliver?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Tryon?
Yes.
An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Greenville, state of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2017. An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Greenville, state of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2017.
Move to adopt.
Motion by Mr. Oliver to adopt the ordinance. Discussion.
Just a quick question. Kim, maybe you don't, I forget what these funds are for. I'm having a brain lapse.
Is it the, I don't remember either. I think is it the, do you have notes, Vicki, that Roxanne sent you?
The what?
She's got a note. I think it's,
Just fully funded community funds with
I think it has to do with the, cemetery.
Mr. Tryon, did this have, I believe this had to do with the additional funds to Main Street Visitors Bureau. We increased,
Oh, you do?
We just switched some things around there.
Is that all that happened? Okay, well.
Yeah, that's what,
It doesn't say on there. I was thinking something with the cemetery.
It's a specific one that we
It
had
is.
separate
It
in
we-
ordinance.
It is. Mhm. Do you want me to go look?
yeah, because when we approved the community funds, it was within the amount that we had.
Well, it's something specific that wasn't approved, that didn't have enough, and I don't remember what it was.
It was 60.
And there's no note on what she gave Vicki, so I'd have to go dig for it.
I prefer to find out.
Okay, so do you want to go on to the next ordinance and
Can
go
we
back?
table that and move on, or?
I would move the table.
Because it's a check we have to pay. I mean, I'll have to go look for it.
I just don't recall, Mr. Burkett, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
That's all right. Motion by, let's see, where are we? Where are we in the motion
I
line?
hadn't made a motion.
Adopting the motion.
Motion to adopt has been made by Mr. Oliver, correct?
Yes.
It was for the Union Cemetery.
Yeah, that's what I thought,
Yeah, it's a
cemetery.
Union
For Union
Cemetery.
Cemetery.
We had a separate ordinance for it, and we didn't include the appropriations in the original
Mhm.
But the-
community fund.
There was two amounts. There's two amounts. It's for the cemetery. That's what I
Cemetery is
thought.
5,000,
There's two amounts.
but it's still part of the original money.
Yes, it just was
from
not
the community
appropriated.
funds.
Yes.
Okay.
It just was not appropriated at the time.
All right.
Mhm.
It's correct. They're correct in
that
what they're
okay?
doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Further discussion? I will not recognize the motion to table. And we have a motion to
Thank you.
adopt. Further discussion? Call the roll.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Pettijohn?
Yes.
Oliver?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Tryon?
Yes.
Thanks for bringing that up and researching it, or doing the.
Mind games, the Rolodex.
Yeah, it's,
I recall that there was a problem, and this has happened before. We get confused because it is a separate ordinance, and it was originally approved in the ordinances for the community funds, and it should have been
it just wasn't
singled
added
out.
in.
But the monies do come from the community funds account.
Next, we have an ordinance to authorize Safety Service Director to approve Ohio Department of Transportation's project to smooth seal State Route 121.
An ordinance authorizing the Safety Service Director to approve Ohio Department of Transportation's project to smooth seal State Route 121 within the corporation limits. This ordinance authorizes the Safety Service Director to approve a project with the Ohio Department of Transportation to smooth seal State Route 121 within the corporation limits of the city of Greenville.
Move to suspend the rules, read this ordinance by title only, second and third time.
Motion by Mr. Oliver to suspend the rules, read the ordinance by title, second, and third time. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Godwin.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Hoddeshell.
Yes.
Oliver.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Tryon.
Yes.
An ordinance authorizing the Safety Service Director to approve Ohio Department of Transportation's project to smooth seal State Route 121 within the corporation limits. An ordinance to authorizing the Safety Service Director to approve Ohio Department of Transportation's project to smooth seal State Route 121 within the corporation limits.
Move to adopt this ordinance.
Motion by Mrs. Howdy-Shell to adopt the ordinance. Discussion.
Yes, please. What year is this for by chance? 2020, 2030,
2019.
There's no,
2019?
there's no emergency on it.
Yeah, gee.
Well, that's why I was asking. Usually there's an emergency clause with the ODOT thing.
This is a portion of 121 out by Jim's Drive-In.
Okay.
Okay.
What do they do when they smooth seal it?
Put a very thin layer of asphalt
On top?
over what is existing.
Okay. Further discussion? Motion is to adopt the ordinance. Discussion, or probably, pardon me, call the roll.
Godwin.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Hoddeshell.
Yes.
Oliver.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Tryon.
Yes.
And next, we have a resolution to authorize the authorize the auditor to file an application with Ohio Municipal League Retro Group for group rating program.
A resolution authorizing the city auditor to file an application with the Ohio Municipal League Retro Group to participate in its group rating program and authorizing the payment of fees for such services. This resolution authorizes the city auditor to file an application with the Ohio Municipal League Retro Group, which allows employers to group together for a workers' compensation group rating plan in order to achieve a lower premium rate than they may otherwise be able to acquire as individual employers.
Move to suspend the rules of this resolution by title only, second and third time.
Mr. Rogers to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title, second and third time. Discussion. Call the roll.
Godwin.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Hoddeshell.
Yes.
Oliver.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Tryon.
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the city auditor to file an application with the Ohio Municipal League Retro Group to participate in its group rating program and authorizing the payment of fees for such services. A resolution authorizing the city auditor to file an application with the Ohio Municipal League Retro Group to participate in its group rating program and authorizing the payment of fees for such services.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Call the roll.
Godwin.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Hoddeshell.
Yes.
Oliver.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Tryon.
Yes.
And next, we have a resolution to authorize bidding for contracts for water plant chemicals.
A resolution authorizing bidding for contracts for water plant chemicals. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to bid for contracts for water treatment chemicals for the city's water plant.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on this resolution and read it by title only, second and third time.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title, second and third time. Discussion. Call the roll.
Godwin.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Hoddeshell.
Yes.
Oliver.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Tryon.
Yes.
A resolution authorizing bidding for contracts for water plant chemicals. A resolution authorizing bidding for contracts for water plant chemicals.
Move to adopt.
Mr. Oliver to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Call the roll.
Godwin.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Hoddeshell.
Yes.
Oliver.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Tryon.
Yes.
Next, we have a resolution to advertise for bids for maintenance paving streets for 2017.
A resolution authorizing advertising for bids for maintenance paving streets for 2017. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to advertise for bids for the maintenance paving project for 2017.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on this resolution and read it by title only, second and third time.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title, second and third time. Discussion. Call the roll.
Godwin.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Hoddeshell.
Yes.
Oliver.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Tryon.
Yes.
A resolution authorizing advertising for bids for maintenance paving streets for 2017. A resolution authorizing advertising for bids for maintenance paving streets for 2017.
Move to adopt?
Mr. Oliver to adopt. Discussion. Call the roll.
Godwin.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Hotteshell.
Yes.
Oliver.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Tryon.
Yes.
Next, we have a resolution to authorize Safety Service Director to enter a contract with Choice One Engineering Corporation regarding North Ohio Street.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering Corporation for the rendering of professional engineering consultation services for the construction of sidewalks along North Ohio Street. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering Corporation for the rendering of professional engineering services for the construction of sidewalks along North Ohio Street.
Motion to suspend the rules, give this resolution a reading by title only for second and time.
Motion by Mr. Tryon to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title, second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll.
Godwin.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Hotteshell.
Yes.
Oliver.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Tryon.
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering Corporation for the rendering of professional engineering consultation services for the construction of sidewalks along North Ohio Street. A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering Corporation for the rendering of professional engineering consultation services for the construction of sidewalks along North Ohio Street.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the resolution. Discussion.
Which portion of North Ohio are we talking?
In front of the nursing home that will connect Greenmore Drive down to where our project stopped last year.
Okay, okay.
Will be on the west side of the road.
Gotcha. All right, thank you.
Further discussion. Call the roll, please.
Godwin.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Hotteshell.
Yes.
Oliver.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Tryon.
Yes.
Next, we have a resolution authorizing the director to enter a contract with Choice One Engineering Corporation regarding Donald Drive.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering Corporation for the rendering of professional engineering consultation services for the upgrade of water and sewer lines along Donald Drive. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering Corporation for the rendering of professional engineering services for the upgrade of the water and sewer lines along Donald Drive.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on this resolution and read it by title only, second and third time.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title, second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll.
Godwin.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Hotteshell.
Yes.
Oliver.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Tryon.
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering Corporation for the rendering of professional engineering consultation services for the upgrade of water and sewer lines along Donald Drive. A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering Corporation for the rendering of professional engineering consultation services for the upgrade of water and sewer lines along Donald Drive.
Move to adopt the resolution.
I think I heard Mrs. Howdeshell say something in a very weak voice. That was my good ear over there.
Move to adopt.
Motion by Ms. Howdeshell to adopt. Discussion. Call the roll.
Godwin.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Hotteshell.
Yes.
Oliver.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Tryon.
Yes.
Thank you. Next, we have a resolution to authorize Safety Service Director in a contract with Choice One for professional services for 2017.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering Corporation for the rendering of professional engineering services in 2017. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering Corporation for the rendering of professional civil engineering services in 2017.
Move to suspend the rules and read this resolution by title only, second and third time.
Motion by Mr. Oliver to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title, second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll.
Godwin.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Hotteshell.
Yes.
Oliver.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Tryon.
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering Corporation for the rendering of professional engineering services in 2017. A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering Corporation for the rendering of professional engineering services in 2017.
Motion to adopt.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Pettischel?
Yes.
Oliver?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Tryon?
Yes.
Next, we have a resolution to authorize Safety Service Director in agreement to purchase a Ford vehicle for Planning and Zoning Department.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into an agreement to purchase a Ford vehicle to be used by the City Planning and Zoning Department. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to enter into an agreement with Dave Knapp Ford to purchase a 2017 Ford Explorer in the amount of $27,700 for the Planning and Zoning Department.
Motion to suspend the rules and read this resolution by title only for the second and third time.
Motion, Mrs. Howneshell, to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Pettischel?
Yes.
Oliver?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Tryon?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into an agreement to purchase a Ford vehicle to be used by the City Planning and Zoning Department. A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into an agreement to purchase a Ford vehicle to be used by the City Planning and Zoning Department.
Move to adopt.
Motion by Mr. Oliver to adopt. Discussion.
Yeah, Dave Knapp was finally able to get one in there.
Was able to beat the
Oh,
state bid
beat.
price. $200, but
Okay.
Savings is savings.
there you go.
Good. Further discussion. Call the roll, please.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Pettischel?
Yes.
Oliver?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Tryon?
Yes.
And next, we have a resolution to authorize disposition of no longer needed personal property planning from Planning and Zoning Department.
A resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed personal property. This resolution authorizes the sale of a 2003 Ford Explorer formerly used by the Planning and Zoning Department through govdeals.com.
Move to suspend the rules, read this resolution by title only, second and third time.
Motion by Mr. Oliver to suspend the rule to read the resolution by title, second and third time. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Pettischel?
Yes.
Oliver?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Tryon?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed personal property. A resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed personal property.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Pettischel?
Yes.
Oliver?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Tryon?
Yes.
And finally, we have a resolution to authorize the disposition of no longer needed personal property from the fire department.
A resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed personal property. This resolution authorizes the disposition of a 2003 Ford Expedition and related equipment formerly used by the fire department through govdeals.com.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on this resolution and read it by title only, second and third time.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title, second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Pettischel?
Yes.
Oliver?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Tryon?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed personal property. A resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed personal property.
Motion to approve. Motion to accept.
Motion to adopt the resolution. Discussion.
I-
Call the roll.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Pettischel?
Yes.
Oliver?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Tryon?
Yes.
I'm glad that it's specified what we're getting rid of. I hope it wasn't the chief. You're sitting out there wondering, are they gonna pass this or not? Okay. That concludes our ordinances and resolutions. Wow, we got through this in pretty good shape. Thank you. Nothing under old business, under new business. The only thing I have, we need to excuse the absences for May.
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to excuse the absences for the month of May. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Pettischel?
Yes.
Oliver,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Tryon.
Yes.
If there's nothing else, and items of communications.
Monthly reports were received from the Police Department, Street Department, and Transit Department. These reports have been distributed to council.
And if there's nothing else, call down the council, please.
Mr. Godwin?
Yeah, I'd just like to congratulate Scott Drew on his retirement and well wishes and good luck on whatever he's doing. And glad to see everybody here tonight. And with that, I'll pass.
Mr. Hensley?
I'll pass.
Mrs. Hadashell?
Like to echo, thanks to Scott Drew for his 33 years of service to Greenville. And as I told him, thank God I never seen him on the road. And with that, I pass.
Mr. Oliver?
Yeah, also congratulations to Scott Drew for a successful career. By the way, folks, you know, he makes a fantastic espresso, cappuccino, or latte. Because he does work in the cafe I operate for the church. And he steps up to that plate also. So, Scott, thank you for that. And with that, I'll pass.
Mr. Rogers?
Thanks, Scott, for your years of service to the city of Greenville. It was well worth your time, and congratulations again. Pass.
Mr. Schmidt?
Pass.
Mr. Tryon?
Pass.
Mr. President Burgett?
Well, I have not a whole lot to say, other than the fact that 33 years of experience just went out the door, and that not taking anything away from anyone else on the police force, it does leave a bit of a void, and those things will be missed, and that's the unfortunate thing. Over time, it'll be replaced, and that's a good thing, but yeah, it takes its toll. It's nice to see people retire, but wow, you hate to lose all that good experience. So anyway, with that, I will entertain a motion that we rise to executive session regarding two items. Item 1, which would be personnel, and item 3, matters that must be, or to discuss with the attorney regarding pending litigation.
So move.
Motion, Mr. Tryon, that we rise to executive session. Call the roll, please.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Hadashell?
Yes.
Oliver?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Tryon?
Yes.
We'll stand in short recess while we shut down the TV and turn off the stuff and clear the chambers. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate it.